Snake versus eagle, cat versus rat, cow versus grass. Historical head-to-heads, but tonight we truly have a matchup for the ages. It's Cobra versus Panther in a battle for beer supremacy. Stick with us to find out who conquers our taste buds and who chestnuts our sticky buds. Welcome, fight fans, to the Lager Logs Points of View with Tom and Stu. I'm Tom, he's Stu. Say hello, Stu.
Hiya!
Yes.
Oh, I shouldn't have told you that connection. Cobra, Panther, that's a kung fu film. I knew you'd run with that ball.
The ball has fully been ran with, and a touchdown has been made. I feel, personally, don't want to toot my own horn, but, I would say so. Yes, Season 2 is in full swing. The motion is back in our ocean and the spring back in our step. We're walking on sunshine and jogging on sleet. That's dangerous. I wouldn't recommend it. Don't mess with partially fused snowflakes. Entitled conjoined twins are a vicious bunch. Stu, how are you, buddy?
I'm not bad. I've been slightly congested this week, so a little bit of a head cold.
Yeah.
So first half of that week was just sort of a blur.
Okay.
Just popping paracetamol, ibuprofen, washing it down with a little beer, and hoping for the best.
You sounds like tonight, to be honest. Are you hoping for a little blur this evening? Or do you like Oasis?
Moving on.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Last week, we had an absolute blast. As I said, Season 2 is in motion. We've got some new merch coming. Yep, hear it and weep, much like Lou Reed's Metal Machine music. We've got a bunch of stuff we'll be giving away in a raffle or something, Stu. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
We'll see. Hey,
just
Tom.
See what happens at the Lager Logs seasonal fair.
You all right, mate?
I don't think so.
I know you're knee deep in your script, but you asked me how I was, and I thought I've been a right prick and never asked him. Like, Tom, how are you?
Now
how are you doing, pal?
Now I'm beautiful.
I wonder why you're being a stroppy cunt.
Did you get strop from that? Was that strop?
I'm just powering through those paragraphs. Don't give me a chance to interrupt. Christ.
Sharing too much, Stu. Honestly, it's just this glimpse, behind the scenes is a bit too in depth.
First minutes this podcast are unbearable because both of these cunts are sober.
I think you speak for the masses when you say that, Stu. We've got some stuff going on. We've got another very special episode in the alpha stages of planning with, much like our last pre-season special, would be a bit of a unique, bit of a different episode, mixing it up a little bit, involving possibly a very special guest.
Cue the Swedish Hawk.
Said too much, revealed far too much. So follow us on social media at the Lager Logs to stay up to date. Let's get into it. As I hinted earlier, a very interesting matchup tonight.
Thanks to the wheel.
Yeah, pretty certain we've spoken passing about both these brewskis before on the show, but we're giving them the full spotlight treatment this evening. But as you mentioned, we follow what the wheel says. This is a communist podcast, okay? And we follow. We do not lead.
Trust the wheel.
Trust the wheel. The wheel is good. So the wheel hooked us up. We chose these specific beers from what the wheel gave us, and that is Cobra World Beer and Hatherwood's One-Eyed, One-Horned Flying Purple Panther Porter. Are you familiar with the beers tonight, Stu? I'm certain we've discussed the Hatherwood range a few times now on the show.
Yes, that's it. You always eye them up when you're in Littles, because it's their own brand of funk. They've kind of taken a spin at each different sort of beer. So, when they thought porter, that kind of was it, right? I know where I could find a porter.
Yep.
And it turns out there's very little other fucking porters kicking about. So we just have to rely on the Panther.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get a bit more into it later, but they've got a good range and a very interesting kind of a range as well. So yeah, I think we should just crack into the. I was going to mention as well. Unfortunately, I found out today that the Hatherwood range is actually cheaper in England than it is in Scotland. So sorry, dude. I
What?
mean, hate to break it to you,
That
but I
thing
think
cost you
you're
£1.59.
£1.9 over here.
Jesus. That boy Nicola
I,
Sturgeon.
I've misplaced. I've misplaced my receipt, but yeah, I was certain it was just over £1. Still, so sorry, man, but them's are the breaks. So I think first beer, let's dive into the Cobra, shall we? Which was always kind of billed as a premium beer, but it's now billed as a world beer.
World beer.
And this is one I've had a few times in the past. Always best paired with a Vindaloo, a few poppadoms, and that film involving telephone operators falling into nettle bushes. Oh yes, Dingy Ring. Uh, let's let let's crack let's crack these bad boys open. I'm gasping. Do you get the big boy as well again?
Well, look at it.
Yes.
Jesus.
Doubled
Like
it up.
an artillery shell.
Yeah, he's a thick boy, isn't he? Let's do it, man. So I think it's technically an American pale lager. It's should be a bit fizzier and less flavoursome than say your international pale lager, and a lot less complex than your average pilsner.
Right.
But will it hit the spot? Who knows? You're gonna have to wait at least 5 seconds to hear what we think. Cheers, mate.
Cheers. That's all right.
Okay. Yeah. It hits the spot in terms of it's a bit of a thirst quencher.
Yes,
Not
it's
a
definitely
lot
like
of flavour to it though. I would say.
yeah. I was like, that's a cold beer,
Mm.
but it doesn't kind of have that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's fill the good people in with a bit of backstory while we enjoy it. So as we mentioned here, we have Cobra beer. Once, if I do believe, a 5% lager, now shaved down to a slightly weaker 4.5%. It's billed as premium or world beer, but as I say, it fits more comfortably into the American pale lager category in terms of its taste. Very interesting backstory. Do you know this one, Stu?
No.
It's I'll fill you in, buddy. It's a bit of a mixed breed kind of brewski. It's brewed in both the UK and India.
Right.
And the beer was founded in 1989 when its creator, Karen Villamoria, wanted to produce a beer that had the refreshment of a lager with the smoothness of an ale to complement different types of cuisine. Interesting bit of trivia, it was actually going to be released under the name Panther, but was changed to its current title before release.
Yeah.
So a bit of a fact for you.
Is that real or is that just bullshit?
Did it sound a bit bullshit? Yeah, I need to work on that. Honestly.
It was just too on the nose. So we're already dealing with a Panther tonight. You mean this could have been Panther?
Could have been Panther vs. Panther, double Panther.
That is a Shaw Brothers film.
There there's a King Cobra variant, which is the Pilsner version, which is double fermented at 5.2%, which sounds interesting, and Cobra Zero, which is apparently pretty popular amongst the alcohol-free beer community. They've just released, I say just, I think it's about the last 4 years or so, their own IPA, Malabar, which I'm quite intrigued to have a go on. So yeah, that's about it for Cobra. Awesome. It's a bit of history for you. Let's, if we can, dive into last beer's watch. Stu, I mean, I know you've been a bit ill this week, but you did mention there was some beer drinking. What have you been tucking into this week, man?
I've only sampled 2 beers, but again, it's just working my way through my Stuart Brewing box. So I tried their Golden Ale.
Oh, okay.
Yep, titled Edinburgh Gold.
And
that was actually just quite a nice, crisp ale. It just had a nice kind of bitter punch to it. But, just lying on the couch, watching, what the fuck was I watching? Just random films on, I think, Amazon, but it was just kind of nice little beer just to take the edge off.
Perfect. I mean, most people, drink Lucozade, but I think beer is the way forward, definitely. How does it rank in your? Because you've been sampling a lot of them recently from Stewart's Brewing. Where does it kind of fit in your ranking?
It's not half bad. Like if I was really in the mood for a golden ale, I would probably grab that again, because I think the other ones I've had have been 2 different IPAs. There's Session IPA and that Belgian IPA. So the golden ale is a different class altogether. But I did try one other little tin called Radical Road, which is their American triple hopped IPA. It's like I need a Venn diagram for how overcomplicated this stuff is getting. This Radical Road clocks in at like 6.4%.
Okay. So I would think it would be maybe like a little bit stronger.
Yeah, and as I did,
average IPA.
Definitely got a wee buzz off of it.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's definitely like your proper IPA in the sense
of the strength's kind of there.
Crack the tin open, get that fruity smell, like the grapefruit fruit, and then just have a nice drink, and it's just kind of refreshing, punchy. It's got the nice fruity aftertaste. Yeah, it was like one of these ones where it's a small, like 330ml tin, so like I could have just sunk it in 2 big swigs, but just really just kind of swished it about in my little beer hawk tumbler and just tried to savor it.
You're not supposed to gargle it. You do know that they produce liquids to gargle with. You don't have to do it with beer.
So I normally do that with water in the mornings when brushing my teeth. So you mean I could use beer there as well?
I'm saying that you're probably going to run out of beer quite quickly. To be honest with you, I mean, we're going to be doing showering in it next.
I'm hearing less water, more beer.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yes,
I'm taking notes.
I'm glad you listened to me. That's awesome, man. So was that it for the week?
Yes, that was my journey in beer. I up that bottle of McEwen's Champion that I've got in the fridge. I really need to tackle that bull. But hey, actually, I think last Saturday, the day after recording our episodes last week, I did try the King Goblin.
Oh, awesome!
Imperial Ruby Ale.
Yeah, it's the stronger variant of Hobgoblin. What do you think, dude?
It wasn't half bad. Quite enjoyed it.
Very similar to Champion in terms of taste.
Strong, bitter, but it did kind of have that. Would you say like a syrupy sweetness?
Yeah,
at the very end. Definitely didn't have a bitter aftertaste, but it was definitely strong.
Yeah, I get the same. I mean, I think it's fantastic. Yeah, because I like Hobby, and I think you get the same kind of flavors. I don't think anything's lost in terms of flavor with the King Goblin. It's just kind of Hobgoblin, but with a lot more of a punch to it. I think very similar kind of tasting drinks, just a little bit stronger. Awesome, dude. Glad you like that one. But if you are struggling to sleep, I think either either that one we mentioned or the Champion definitely help you out if you're a bit ill and struggling to hit the deck. Awesome, man. Good week. I think just another couple on my end, almost disturbingly sensible. Your brown curves are Jamaican me horny. That's right. Had a much talking about you. Had a much overdue blast on Red Stripe.
All right.
Another American style kind of pale lager, originally brewed in Kingston Town. This was always in my youth kind of the Pabst Blue Ribbon of the UK. You know, the hipsters kind of go-to beer. Like
I always remember it being on offer in like Wetherspoons. Like there'd be a little pyramid of the tins behind the counter. That seems to be about 50p cheaper than Budweiser.
Do the maths on that one, yeah. I mean, yeah, cans of the stuff always seem to me that to be extortionately priced in bars and kind of semi-legal smoky after parties and some basement somewhere. So it always reminds me of that. Good times, but it's okay. Very refreshing, not particularly distinctive, but a nice crisp beer. Definitely sessionable beer, perfect with dinner or MDMA. Take your pick, either one. And yeah, man, last night managed to track down a 4-pack of Belhaven Best. It's one my dad got me on, and he always imports a few back into England when he's up in Scotland, along with a few asylum seekers, of course. It's pretty much the Scottish equivalent of John Smith's, and it just pips it to the post for me in terms of a really solid canned draft bitter. I think there's more flavoursome ones out there, but nothing beats it in terms of its balance of smoothness and refreshment. Another real kind of session beer for me. Lovely stuff. But that my friend was my week in beer. How are you getting on with the Cobra?
Yeah, it's I'm getting there slowly, but I have emptied the full contents of the bottle into this Trooper pint tumbler. But it's not a chore, but mine looks surprisingly flat.
Yeah,
but
that's very
definitely
odd.
some bubbles, but that's clear, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks surprisingly flat. I mean, it doesn't.
I'm not sure if this just adds to the smoothness, because it definitely is.
Yeah. I think once I added it, it was a bit. Yeah, once I opened it, it was a bit fizzy, but now it's kind of relaxed a little bit or something. It's just not particularly. I mean, I suppose in terms of it being a blend between a kind of a lager and an ale, I suppose it kind of makes sense. The actual like texture of it,
not harsh.
It's an interesting one. Stu, I think we're either getting old or the beers are getting bigger, because we're gonna have to move on to the next one before we've finished again. But no worries, we manage next week. We will manage again. Really look forward to this one. This is Hatherwood's Purple Panther Porter. This is one I've had before, I think last year. I'm looking forward to revisiting it. So this is number 5 on the Hatherwood Craft Beer Company's. There you go, proof of the number 5. You can't see that, but I could see that, and I needed proof that it was number 5.
Maybe if they visit our Instagram, they'll see that.
This is number 5 on their range, on their craft beer range. Bottle is off. Are you pouring over there, are you?
Yeah, I'm ready.
He's getting ready for the pour.
I don't want to overtake something like.
I'm just gonna swig it again. You go for it, dude. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get a wee idea of the colour.
Yeah, nice. Very kind of dark, almost like a brownish hue to it. That's a nice head on that there, buddy. Good effort.
Thanks for pointing that out. That's. Oh.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Yeah, it's still solid. It's not particularly sweet enough for me to really class it as a porter, but it's really nice nonetheless. It's got a very interesting kind of like almost like smoky taste to it. You getting that?
I get that smoky taste. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more sweetness, but
if I remember, I think that's exactly what I felt last time I had it. That it was just missing that little bit of sweetness to it. But so yeah, unfortunately, not a lot really in terms of backstory for this one. The Hatherwood range was launched by Lidl, from what I can gather, in 2015, and surprisingly, is actually brewed by Witchwood. So for those unfamiliar with the name, the brewery behind Hobgoblin, and I think me and Stu have spent the past year of our lives mixing the two up, and lo and behold, they're both connected. Crazy. So as we were saying, yeah, this is one in a family of different beers, each numbered. You've got the Golden Goose Golden Ale, Green Gecko IPA, Amber Adder Amber Ale, the Ruby Rooster Ruby Ale, and this bad boy. So I had the Ruby Ale. I think about the same time as I had the Porter last, which was a very solid, almost cross between an English bitter and a brown ale, if I remember. Really, really interesting beer. Not got to any of the others just yet, but Stu, you tried quite a bit of Lidl's more craft beer stuff, right? I don't know. I don't know whether in terms of this range, but I know you've tried some of the more crafty stuff.
Yeah, there's some of the newer stuff where it comes across, I think, under the Hatherwood craft beer company label. But the one I had was, I think, called Upstate IPA, and that was a brew sort of in partnership with Stewart Brewing, and that was actually a really decent pale ale. I quite enjoyed that. They've got another 2 or 3 sort of like stateside sort of funky titled brews. So I look forward to trying those.
Yeah.
But I'm perplexed by this.
What's your what's your thoughts on it at the moment?
It's not good. I'm just drinking like just burnt water.
Yeah,
That taste.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. It's a bit interesting. It's almost got like a hollow kind of taste. I know with most of you, I mean, this is a porter, but obviously porter and your stout are kind of very closely linked. Whereas your stout's got a bit more kind of that roast kind of flavor that lingers. This kind of tends to disappear a little bit once you've swallowed it. It's kind of just gone in terms of the taste.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, going to drink it from a tumbler here, I get to like this point where like the glass touches my bottom lip and I get the smell. Like, I don't want to drink that.
It's not one of the best porters that I've tried. Probably a bit too much kind of coffee kind of bitterness.
Well, that's it. I mean, on the back of the bottle,
without much sweetness.
Yeah, the Purple Panther Porter is dark, correct. Silky, meh. And deeply delicious. This full-bodied and muscular blend has a coffee roast bitterness at its core. Maybe.
Sounds like my ex-wife.
Speciality sugar adds. Sugar? Where? Where's the sugar? I could actually do adding 2 sugar to this. Distinct toffee flavour. No, it hasn't. Really. There's this sleek and smoky malted porter. Those last 3 words are correct. Smoky malted porter. That's what I'm tasting. Like, it is smoky and it's. Nah. Nope.
I think it's well, in terms of tonight's pairings, it's a lot more complex than I think the Cobra. So maybe it wins just in that category. But yeah, no real kind of big hitters for me in terms of the beers tonight. But hey, no worries. I'm sure we can manage to consume them before the end of the show. It's time again this evening to dive into the snake pit, liver first. It's listeners' questions. So first up we have Hitman _Steve Hitman _ Steve 2000, who says, when can I buy a beer in an actual pub? ? Cheers.
Tom, that was right. On paper you said exactly what he wrote. But I think with the explanation marks, it really kind of like wants to emphasize, like, when can I buy a beer in a pub?
Oh, that was better. That was better. I liked yours a bit better. There needed a bit more emotion, doesn't it?
That's what.
Like, I think I just said "diz" in it for some reason.
We're just
like
pulling all this information from Instagram, and sometimes you can't tell the tone from a text, but. Just the desperation. This is like a
there's desperation there. I can
United Kingdom's been in and out of lockdown limbo for like a year now.
Yeah, it's been a bit up and down. But look, Steve, Hitman, whichever is your birth name, look, we're a podcast. And though it may sound like it, we don't record at the House of Commons. We have no insider information on when this is going to be a possibility. And I think hiding behind the wall of crying laughter and beer emojis is a man who's struggling. And I just want you to know we're all struggling. I haven't showered in at least 2 hours to cut down the bills. I've had to stop sleeping with every single light in my house on. I've had to reuse cutlery and crockery when I'm used to buying a new set after each meal. We're all struggling. You want to know when you can buy a beer? June. Steve, I think it's June.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the question. Thank you. Thanks for supporting the show. We love you. In a completely kind of asexual manner. Thanks, dude.
So let's put a pin in Tom. If it's up in Scotland, I think maybe 26th of April.
I think, yeah, we can drink outside, I think, next month. Or we can get back to the beer gardens next month.
Yeah, back to the gardens next month.
Hopefully the weather will be able to match it.
I think up here there's the little different road map out of the fucking pandemic. But yeah, 17th of May, I think we're allowed back into pubs.
It's going to be chaos, I think, to be honest, man, and I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, thank you for your question, Hitman Steve 2000.
Hold on a wee bit longer, Hitman.
Just hold out, dude. We're nearly there, man. You've got the lager logs to keep you going until then, so don't worry. So our second question of the night, I think it's Alice Key or Allies_Key. Asks, all right then, how would you spend £10 on at a supermarket to stock up on beers for an ideal night in? What? You don't say that one, do you? You don't say the symbol at the end, do you? Okay, yeah. Was that better?
Mark?
Was that better?
Yeah, that's it. You just need to do that sentence, but finish it on a high note.
What, like ideal night in?
How would you spend a tenner in a shop?
You've been practicing this, Stu. What? I mean, what's your thoughts on the matter?
If I was given a tenner to spend in a shop on beer-related goodness for a good night in, I've done the maths. I've counted the pennies, and after our last week's episode, I would take my crisp £10 note into my local Asda's.
Definitely not crisp, blood-stained. Definitely.
It's plastic, so it wipes off now. Leaves a hell of a paper cut. I would pick up a Hop House Lager, 4-pack for £4.25.
To the penny. What a lad.
A nice little 4 bottles of nice crisp lager, and maybe if I wanted to get a little bit more distinct afterwards, follow that with an Ennis and Gun Scotch Ale.
Yes.
£1.50. Throw in the Asda's medium thin and crispy stone-baked cheese meltdown pizza. £3.
Oh, you're incorporating the food as well. Amazing.
Yes.
I'm liking your style, buddy.
Then, if I still have a thirst, if I'm still awake and I'm not lying face down on the couch with melted cheese on my face, I'll chase it because I've only got £1.25 left. So I just have to go for the Asda's own brand American IPA.
Ooh. So you're going to dive into their own craft beer selection. Incredible. Yes. I think that's pretty good. That's bang for your buck, definitely.
That's amazing. 6 beers and a pizza. And to be honest, as you can tell by the lager logs, I only need 2 beers. So that's like fucking 3 episodes of a podcast and a pizza.
Clearly the lightweight member of our staff.
All right, Angela. That's enough.
I think that's a very impressive value for money shopping list. You got yourself there, Stu. Obviously, for me, the Radio Times is my first purchase. How else will I know what top 10 worst of all time countdown program is on Channel 5 that night? So I think that's $9.50 these days with inflation. So that leaves me 50p. So probably like a sherbet dib dab. Yeah. Oh, sorry, my nose was covering the last half of that question. For a quiet night in on the weekend, I'll probably purchase a 4 pack of a favorite bitter or stout, usually for around a fiver. Uh, I do like shout out Morrison's 4 for £6 deal on their bottles of ale. That's helped me discover a lot of different unique brewskis, which has been good, which has been awesome. If you want like a selection of beers, or £10 a lot of the time can get you just 10 tins. So if you're having a particularly heavy one, maybe you're getting together with a handsome Scot or a prickly Swede on Skype for a few hours. 10 cans will just about stretch. But yeah, obviously we can see where our minds are. I'm just concentrated on getting as much booze as possible. Where you're trying to kind of mix it up a little bit, a few pizzas. Thinking about your health. I like it, really like it. So yeah, thank you for your question, Alice. We appreciate that. I hope we've answered it to your satisfaction. Stu, what do you think about this then? No good, not enjoying it, straight down the sink, yeah?
Yes, that is
Okay.
promptly getting launched after this episode. I will just stick with Cobra.
Yeah,
My
not
saving
great.
grace.
Yeah, not great. Drinkable.
Because what's it in comparison? I mean, our last fucking tango with a porter was the Guinness West Indies porter,
which is a head and shoulders above this one.
Yes, definitely, because that does tick the boxes on from what I can remember. A silky smooth, dark, sweet, bitter drink.
Yeah, really good, dude. Really good. I mean, I think if we were going to recommend a porter, I would go with that one. My other favorite porter, which I haven't been able to find in the shops, is Titanic.
Right.
Which is one that I kind of always, if it's on draft, I'll always kind of jump on that because that's a really nice porter, which does kind of have that balance that you kind of want. Really, it's a bit smoky, it's a bit roasty, but it's also got that sweetness to it. So I would recommend that maybe rather than this one. But for £1, 9p, it's a bargain, right? Right, another one in the can or bottle. Let's put us out of our misery and sign off now before we go. Of course, it's time for the Wheel of Fortune. Still haven't decided on a good name for that.
Because that's copyrighted.
I'm going to say I'm certain we may be infringing on some sort of copyright with that. But yes, Stu's going to...
Wheel of Names.
Stu's going to whiz that up for us now, so I can kind of see what we're doing as well. Here we go. Wow, don't you just love technology?
Yeah, all right.
So,
look at me. What are you hoping for, Tom?
I would love Scotch ale would be very nice, but I think a barley wine would be funnier. Belgian ale would be interesting because we haven't had one on the show before, but there's so many good selections. Oh, mild as well. Yeah, that's another favourite of mine that we haven't covered on the show. Yeah, I'm just reading things now. So spin.
Okay.
Here we go. It's going. Where's it going to stop? We got a fruit beer. Wow, very interesting. Wow. That's gonna be a very interesting selection for next week. We have a winner.
I've only seen a fruit beer once, I believe, on shelves, and that was a Copperberg fruit beer.
They did the company that produces ciders, but they did do their own kind of. I think it was was it lime or was it strawberry and lime beer? Something if I remember, we might track that one down. That sounds pretty interesting. I'm sure there's bottles on eBay for extortionate prices, so we'll check that out.
Is cream egg on that list? I hope not. Okay, well we spin the wheel one more time.
One more time.
Beer and
and
anticipation.
And a bitter. Woo!
Yes.
Beautiful.
Beer and a bitter.
Fantastic. That's a very, very interesting combo really looking forward to that, bud. The wheel just keeps on delivering, keeping us on our toes a little bit. So thank you, wheel, all knowing, all powerful
Yes.
wheel. And thanks again, well, everyone for tuning in. The listeners, join us on our social media at the Lagerlogs for all things socially and media. It's an awfully long way until next week's episode, and it's completely understandable. You need a midweek Lagerlogs fix just to level out a little. So hit us up there for all your spoon and needle needs, and most likely pictures of beer. It's a wrap. Hopefully, Hoisin Duck. I like those ones. Bon voyage, booze hounds. Say goodbye, Stu.
Goodbye, Stu.
Stu, gonna have to put an editing point right there for you, man. For some reason, speakers on my TV have come on, and I don't know why. There's a ghost in my house. There's a ghost in my house that likes Fleetwood Mac. Whoops. Okay. Should I do a little bit of silence again?
Yeah, we should be all right.
Should be right, man.
I'll listen through to the whole thing anyway, so I'll just be able to just cut this part.
Okay, dude. No worries.